World at war. Russia hits God, Ukraine hits oil, and Trump hits his knees. Today, the geopolitical chessboard is being rewritten. The mainstream media is misreading the fractures. We are making three absolute statements today. First, a desperate terrorist regime dropped 70 missiles on a holy site. They targeted the 1,000-year-old Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra. They're trying to bomb historical memory and holy memory because they cannot break the Ukrainian will on the battlefield. Second, Muscovites' minds were completely blown today. Video evidence proves Russia's air defense is utterly garbage. That they basically blew the lid off Moscow's own oil refinery themselves. They can't keep their own systems from breaking their own backyard. And third, the G7 erupted into pure reality TV drama. Italy's Prime Minister Meloni completely exposed Trump's claims, forcing everyone to ask, is Trump okay? Meanwhile, Emmanuel Macron pulled off the ultimate troll. He sat the United States down to sign a massive deal with Iran, right inside the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, a location historically known as an absolute capitulation chamber. Speaking of historic failures, look at Washington, D.C. right now. The administration spent $14 million of taxpayer money to paint the Lincoln Memorial reflecting full American flag blue. They deployed high-tech nano bubbler technology. Anyways, I would say algae 0 and Trump administration 0. You need to stay until the very end of this broadcast today because beneath the smoke of a burning refineries, we are stepping into a side of this war you have never seen. I will be breaking down Ivan Kupala. This is why I'm dressed the way that I am. It's the most ancient, mystical, and magical celebration in the world. 1,000-year-old pagan solstice ritual of fire and water that has been transformed into a lethal cultural weapon of absolute resistance. I'm Slavie, this is SlavaCast, World at War, live stream. Welcome. Before we get into it, please share this live stream, hit like, do your part for the algorithm, smash subscribe if you're new here, and if you're ready to witness the final Russian collapse, like the stream, share it out, drop your hot takes, and hype up the chat right now. Say hello in the chat, let me know where you're watching from as well. Let's get this energy to absolute peak. Joining us today from an unknown location, he is a drone specialist with Azov Battalion. James, welcome to the show again. And James, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be up late here in Ukraine, and yeah, unknown location, near enough to the front lines to hear the booms. And yeah, I am head of the fiber optic drone laboratory for Azov International Battalion, so that's 12th Brigade, 3rd Battalion, and yeah, we do drones, fiber optic drones, and other kinds of drones besides. I'm doing great. And those of you, if you'd like to support the work that I'm doing in my battalion, you can go to whyukraine.com. You can.
Thank you, James, for being here. We have links for you in the chat right now. And if you're watching after live, you can get the link in the description box in the show notes below. Well, let's get into it. We have a lot to get through in a very, very short time. So, Russia's air defense is trash. That is actively helping Ukraine burn down Moscow's oil supply. James, is the Kremlin completely losing control of its own rear, or are they just panicking?
Well, did you see their new air defense systems You know, it's Ukraine versus crane actually. Have you noticed that there's actual cranes over Moscow that have taken out several Ukrainian drones? So they're actually doing a better job than the actual, Russian air defense. So
I have not seen that, but we
yeah,
will
it's pretty
be
funny.
discussing this whole debacle. I
Mm.
do have videos for you guys. I mean, this moment launched millions of memes. I do have a couple of memes to show you
Oh my god, it was aliens the whole time.
guys.
That's a spaceship.
Yeah, spaceship, and I even have Men in Black here as well.
Yeah. I like the one that I saw that said, "I want to believe." Yeah, that's a
This
good one.
this one is one of my absolute favorites,
Mhm.
and I love this one too. Well,
Nice.
you're wondering, well, what happened? So, Ukraine just brought the war straight into Moscow's fuel system. The refinery fire is a humiliation strike as much as an operational one. So, Ukrainian drones were about to hit Moscow oil refinery again for actually the third time this week. And the drones were trying to evade the Russian air defenses and triggered a huge blast and fire that made the oil refinery lid to pop off. And it's a huge lid, if you ask me. So must be a huge refinery. Now, why is it this specific oil refinery? Well, because of the fuel that's needed for Moscow. So Ukraine did it extremely strategically, but here's the catch. It's actually Russia's own air defense that that took out the lid, that made the lid pop off. James, have you seen the videos?
Yeah, some people were wondering if it wasn't actually a really big tank, you know, another one of the turret tosses. Uh, but yeah, it's pretty astounding, really. I mean, those storage tanks uh shows you how big I mean, compared to like the building that looks
Yeah,
like it's
that's what
right
I'm
next
like.
to it.
That, well, I'm looking at this, and then the building here. What is this? Like
Yeah.
9-story building?
Yeah, that's like an apartment, multi apartment complex essentially. Yeah, it shows you how big these storage tanks are, and there's several of them there. I can see 3 other storage tanks
Right here, right?
in that picture. So, it's not this is not enhanced particularly. I
No,
mean,
no, no. I
it's
took
just
this. I just enhanced the colors so we can see like where everything. Because it's um, frankly, this specific video was actually just food for thought. It was taken by like a Chinese national speaking Chinese. So just, you know,
it's probably why we got it because he doesn't care. I'm sure, if he were Russian, he posted that, he'd probably be arrested.
well, there's a lot of angles of this.
Mm,
I do have. I'm gonna not play it with the music because
mhm.
But here I'll play you guys some videos.
Wow, crazy town.
This is the air
Uh
defense
huh.
that's
Uh
trying
huh.
to
Uh
hit
huh.
the drones.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty tough when you got all that smoke going up. Because wow.
Right.
It's really nice to see this because I mean I've seen a few. I'm so busy in my laboratory, I don't get a chance to see all this stuff as much as I
You
would like.
wanna hit my heart.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. But yeah, what's interesting also is there's what I've been told anyway is that there's almost nothing in Russian media about this. So all these videos are going out. They're not going out over Russian media or any of that jazz.
Oh, they're trying to suppress it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And honestly, I mean,
I
it's
mean, this is 15 kilometers away
yeah,
from Moscow. I mean, it's in Moscow territory. That's why
yeah,
Ukraine specifically targeted this
yeah,
refinery. So,
yeah. Wow,
all
amazing.
right, this was
What a world.
definitely it made my week, to be
Mm,
honest.
what a world we live in. It's great.
All right. Well, Moscow can project force outward, but it can't fully protect itself from the blowback because we all see it and we all see Moscow's weakness. However, this week, actually before this was a retaliation uh, to the strike that Russia hit. I know it's Russia didn't just bomb Kiev this week; it targeted the soul of Ukraine
Mm,
and Christianity. The Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra is 1,000 years old, one of the most sacred sites in Eastern Christianity, and now it's burning. And this isn't random damage. This is a message.
mhm.
So Russia fired 70 missiles and 611 drones at Ukraine in one night. This happened on Trump's birthday. So Ukrainian air defenses intercepted 50 missiles and 582 drones, but 20 missiles and 27 drones still hit 42 locations. I'm gonna show you the beautiful Lavra.
Mm, mhm.
James, have you been to Pechersk
Yeah,
Lavra?
I've been all over it many times, and all through the tunnels, and in the cathedral and the tower and the museums. It's one of my favorite places to go. Um, my favorite part is this Scythian exhibits. So the historical exhibits with the Scythian gold, and then all of this. My whole medieval thing, the Kievan Rus artifacts and all of that they have
I
there.
didn't
And
know the Scythian gold was there, but
oh yeah, yeah,
here are
yeah.
the
I mean,
tunnels. So
yeah,
let me explain to
yeah.
um,
Please.
what this cathedral is. Um, it basic. Sorry, I lost my. So there's this beautiful cathedral, as you guys can see, and it has um, I don't know, would you call them catacombs or tunnels?
I mean, I call them tunnels, but yeah, you could call them catacombs too. It's pretty awesome. I mean, this is the part that has actual lighting. The rest of it's freaking dark as hell, and you got to
So
like walk around with a candle.
yeah, exactly. Everything is lit up by candles. It's very, very dark and it's very tight, and everything around you is just rock. And it's you there now there's burials there where you can see actual monks because monks used to live there, and you
And
can
also like
see
old
them.
knights and stuff, like actual like warriors and fighters who were entombed there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually I wrote an article this week on Substack, my first
Mm,
article on Substack, so you
awesome.
guys can go check it out about my
Nice.
experience of Lavra and what I saw there. Um, it's in the show notes below, so check it out afterwards.
Yeah, that's
But
a nice picture. It looks just like you.
wonder who could that be? James, why do you think Russia escalated to hit Lavra?
Yeah, I talked about this on my live stream actually a couple nights ago, and My feeling is, I didn't know it was also Trump's birthday. I mean, that kind of, oh God, don't get me started. But I alluded to, it's like they're kind of trying to send, it's a psyop, okay? They're trying to send the signal, like, up until now, the Russians have been saying to themselves, to each other, well, we are preserving the history of Ukraine and because the culture, because we are saving the culture. Actually, that's their narrative, right? Because we are the true Russians, and we're going to save Kyiv from the Ukrainians, and Pechersk Lavra is ours. It's
By
part
the
of our
way,
heritage.
by the way, the founder of Moscow is buried there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but now the message that they're sending now is we don't even care about that anymore. Because basically they're like, you know what? We know we're losing, and so if we
Yeah.
can't have it, then nobody can. Pre-conventional morality, and it's also a little bit of like we're not afraid to hurt ourselves just as much as we hurt you. You know, that's kind of because it's almost like, y- you know, really, I mean, through this whole thing, they talk about, they like to say that Ukraine and Russia are like brothers, but really, Ukraine is the mother of Russia. So it's literally like you're attacking your own mother. That's what it is, you know.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Zelensky did a stand-up, um, a skit on this. The mother, um,
Really,
when he was, yeah, it's really good. When he
really,
was acting, an actor.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. This was.
I know that.
You know
Hmm.
what's interesting, because Russia made their war on Ukraine a holy war.
Yeah,
And there's all this propaganda that's going on that it's Ukraine that's bombing churches, and when it's obviously Russia. But since they made it a holy war, it just makes no sense for them to start bombing historical sites that they're a part of.
yeah, yeah.
And but when you make it into a holy war, you don't need to negotiate anything. There's no
Right.
peace deal, because when there's a holy war, it's to win, and there's nothing
Yeah.
else but to win. So that's why they had to rebrand it.
Yeah, it's sad to say that some of the worst atrocities in mankind's history have been committed in the name of religion, you know, and that this is what the evil do, is to try to warp and manipulate and twist what was intended for good into something that is evil. And uh, you know, that's what Russia's been doing with religion this whole time, throughout this whole war, and for a long time before. It's incredibly cynical, and it's something I just don't think Americans, especially, who are tend to be more religious, and they don't understand that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, when it's a, I don't think Russia has always been a terrorist regime. That's why I call them Mongols,
Hmm.
because they adapted ever since their day one. They've adapted the Mongols' way, where they
Hmm.
just destroy, pillage, and everything in in their sight. It's
Hmm.
all what they know to do,
Hmm.
even when
Yeah,
it's their own history.
yeah. Unfortunately, it. I mean, the actual Mongols themselves don't and never did treat each other this way. It was the subject territories, that they wiped out, where they wiped out like 15% of the human population worldwide. And I mean, historically, like pastoral cultures, like animal herding cultures that achieve that kind of dominance. The Huns did the same thing, and even the Yamnaya before that, where what they're doing is they're clearing land for their goats and sheep and cows, right? But that trauma got passed down through medieval Russia. So the and I'm not saying that clearing land for your sheep is a reason for genocide, but but that trauma got passed down through Muscovian culture, particularly
Yeah.
because they were essentially, what the Mongols did was say, "Hey, we are too busy traumatizing all these other cultures and nations. We're gonna, hey, Moscow, we're gonna appoint you the agents of trauma for your whole region for us. Can you just do that?" You know, and they have just continued that tradition, even though obviously Genghis Khan is long gone.
Yeah, they became a tyrannical ever throughout their whole history.
Mm,
There's not one one year where they've been normal.
mm,
That's why even
wow.
if they would get democracy and freedom, they wouldn't know what to do with it. It's in
Right.
their DNA. The slave culture is in their
Yeah.
DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a real difference. It's one of the things I love about Ukraine and Ukrainian culture and people is, although I will say that every Ukrainian I've ever met has just a little, like a tiny little Vladimir Putin inside their brain telling them, you can't do it. Ukraine sucks. Ukraine's never going to be good. It's that internalized trauma, internalized like colonialism. And I feel like every Ukrainian has this struggle to kick the Russians out, not just out of their country, but that infection out of, their own like hearts and minds. I think it's an internal struggle as much as it is like every Ukrainian is fighting their own war.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, let's keep moving on to the next news. Let me just give you the next visual. So the G7 was supposed to be about Western unity, but Trump turned it into a personality show. Surprise, surprise. That's why the summit story is not just policy, it's behavior. So, G7 leaders backed Ukraine and said that they would increase pressure on Russia's war economy. They also welcomed the US Iran deal, which immediately became one of the summit's most controversial stories. Reuters reported Trump saying that I'm the boss at the summit, while other leaders reportedly walked on eggshells around him, except Maloney, but we'll get to that. Uh, and actually Zelensky, because he actually got there's a possibility of licensing the Patriot missile system so Ukraine could develop on its own. So hopefully he does something right. But Trump, he used the summit to dominate the room and force everyone else to orbit his mood and his messaging. Basically, he was falling asleep and he was talking absolute nonsense. The world sees Trump, I mean, as he is. He is not well, in my opinion. But Trump walked into the G7 and acted like he was hosting reunion episode for the global elite, basically. When Trump says that I'm the boss at G7 summit, that's not diplomacy. That's a guy doing karaoke with nuclear codes, I guess.
Mm.
So also there was a lot of like literal would say reality TV drama that happened between Maloney and Trump. Trump bragged that Maloney begged him to take a picture, and then Maloney made a response video saying that Maloney and Italy will never beg anyone and have never done that. Oof. It's a whole thing. I can't believe that this, I mean, they're blowing it up. I'm sure they did it. Trump did it on purpose um to get this in the headlines rather than the complete and utter failure of what uh what he has done to, well, with everything. He destroyed everything. um I don't know, James, how much you can comment on this, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, let's keep in mind that my personal opinions are not the opinions of Azov or the Ukrainian National Guard. I am an American, and I have my own opinions. I do keep them reserved. What I will say, I try to. What I will say is that the most important thing to know is that 50% of America will never know that this ever even happened, any of this stuff, because just like Russia has, Russian state media, America has Fox News, okay, and that is the official like regime media now. And anytime something bad happens to the regime, Fox News is showing like cats, people playing with cats, or something else, just look at the dancing monkey. And so 50% of America at least knows nothing of this, has no idea that
This was not manipulated at all, guys, but
so, it's- I, I mean, but it's very iconic pictures, though. The original picture there of Zelensky and Trump sitting with each other,
Mhm.
and just how incredibly old he looks. And
You can
I,
see
I
by
mean,
the posture and how things have changed. If we look at from
yeah,
the disastrous when and Vance tried to yell at Zelensky at the White House, you can see. That's why I used the meme. This one. Um,
yeah. Um, but I mean, sure, being president takes a wear and tear on everybody. But I do think that America needs to do something about electing leaders who are just too old. Okay, there should be a limit. There's a lower age limit. Okay, of like 35 or 45.
I think
There
it's
should also
40.
be
Yeah,
an upper age limit for for all lawmakers, or for for all politicians. I think that we have lawmakers in America who are like 96 years old, and they're not and are they representative of America? And I think part of the problem is that we have a majority pot, not to blame everything on boomers, sorry if any boomers watching, but we have this huge portion of our population who is of that certain age now, and they are primarily responsible for electing these older politicians. And we also have a political system that is less and less democratic, more and more oligarchical, okay, and people are just holding on to power too long, you know, and that's at all levels of the American government, and the
yeah.
elected officials, not just Republicans either, Democrats as well, very much so. Even the Democrats, the only people who are disliked more than Trump and the MAGA Republicans by the polls in America, the only people who are disliked more are the Democrats. The Democratic voters don't like the Democrats because they're too old guard. They're not representing
Yeah,
the will of the American people. So it's a whole
I
problem.
agree. I agree. Um, you started talking about like the old guys that are
Mm,
still in power, like
yeah.
Trump. But there's younger ones, and I think there should be a law against electing complete and utter morons
Yeah,
overall.
something. I mean, but look, I hate to say this, you guys, but America elected someone to represent themselves, and and that is what Trump is doing. He is representing America on the world stage. When people think of America, they picture Trump in their mind, and I just hope it becomes a lesson that travels down generations. But again, half of the country has no idea. Half of the country has no idea that any of this is happening.
I mean, he has
Totally tuned out.
taken America from being a superpower into a complete and utter embarrassment in
Sure,
just 1 year.
sure. But it it doesn't
And we said,
affect you.
and we kept saying this was gonna happen, but oh my God, I didn't think this was gonna happen to such a disastrous and low levels. Like, this is so much worse than I thought it would be, and it's embarrassing.
But if you don't know about it, and the only people who, it's the emperor wears no clothes, right? Well, the emperor doesn't know that everybody can see that he's not wearing clothes, and the only people who can say anything about it, you can't affect him, so he just goes on walking, and that is what most Americans are doing, and yeah, that's I don't know. I moved to Ukraine for a reason.
I know the real reason. Actually, James told me before we started the um but I'll let him tell you guys the
Sure.
story maybe later. But let's move on to, well, the this is like the biggest surrender story of modern history, because the deal itself, the Iran deal between United States and Iran, is actually capitulation. The US started with maximum pressure, ended with a 30 billion fund, and now Iran gains. Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian signed an interim deal that ended a 3-month war and extended a ceasefire. By the way, Israel kept bombing Lebanon, so I don't think this is the end. The deal that they made is tied to reopening the Strait of Hormuz and easing parts of the economic blockade on Iran. By the way, the Strait of Hormuz was open before Trump's war of choice happened. And also, Reuters also reported Trump denying that the deal includes the 300 billion fund, even as the details circulated publicly. So the US started with maximum sanctions, naval pressure, and economic isolation of Iran. Iran was on the brink of economic collapse, and the US had the leverage to force major concessions. Now, instead of keeping that leverage, the US is releasing frozen Iranian assets, allowing investment, and softening pressure. So, why this capitulation? Well, the deal gives Iran a 300 billion private wealth fund, which more than half is already committed. Instead of keeping Iran isolated, the US is now integrating Iran into the global economy. The deal is a ceasefire extension, not a resolution. It's a pause, not a victory. Also, nukes. Iran, there was a deal that Obama made that was actually great, but now we're so much worse off, because pretty sure enriching uranium, they're like really close to actually getting it pure. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And they've refused to give it up.
yeah,
Even
they don't
less
need to now.
likely.
But
Yeah.
Trump is so desperate to, I guess, mask the mess, the disaster that he created,
Oh,
that he
God.
was going for anything. This is just, I
My
is
face met my palm so hard I almost broke my glasses. I just like it's stupid with a capital stew. Like you're gonna start a war. I just it Oh, dumb. Did we learn nothing from Iraq? Did we learn absolutely nothing? Like, oh well, this time I'm going to be perfectly prepared for last time. That's exactly the logic here. It causes me physical pain to see this level of stupidity on an international scale.
Yeah. Well,
Good
this
God.
is economic international scale. Like this
Yeah.
affects everyone. It's again, as I said previously, I knew Trump would make a mess, but this is I no one could have predicted it just how bad it is. And there's no way to mask it. There's no way out but to do
Yeah,
this,
well,
even
I
though
now I now I finally understand why Trump said make America great again. Because when he's gone, somebody's going to have to.
yeah. And it's gonna I mean the mess that he put America in, it's not gonna take 4 years. No, no. It's gonna take decades for America to recover.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean it's this is just like if America ever if our country ever recovers, honestly, I
Yeah.
just think it's like the end of empire. It's like the Fourth Crusade in the Byzantine Empire. They never recover from this. I think it's I don't. Is there going to be like a resurgence of democracy in America? Is there any sign that I mean I think yeah Trump's going to die in office, but is that going to improve things? No, I don't think so. I don't think the midterms. I don't know. I'm
Hopefully we'll see what happens at midterms. Hope I mean if Democrats don't take back
if they suddenly
the
grow a spine like by some miracle. I mean, no, it'll be another like neck and neck 50-50 kind of a Congress thing. And the tiebreaker will be some conservative Democrat again, you know, who is
they
basically a wolf in Republican clothing, you know?
yep.
Or wait, I'm not sure if I got that
They need
metaphor
to
right, but
fight this mess with fire, and
yeah,
there I don't understand them, but
yeah,
wishing for
but
the best. There's a blue wave, and if it does come, and it will come, but we need warriors.
yeah, yeah,
The era
yeah,
of the politicians of the Democrats over. We need warriors. We need
yeah.
soldiers that are willing
Um,
to get down and dirty, just like MAGA.
yeah, that's right. That's right. If we make the comparison, I don't know how much of a history nerd you are. Probably not as not as much as me, but if we look at, you know, it's easy for a lot of Americans. We compare America to Rome a lot, and a lot of people say like the Roman Empire, and I just did, but I would compare this more to the end of the Roman Republic. So, in the end of the Roman Republic, it kind of happened in stages over the course of like 150 years. And there was this one dude named Sulla. Okay. And Sulla came after Marius. Marius was a little bit like Obama. He was a little bit of a reformer, kind of tried to, hope and change and all this. And then Sulla came in and just completely screwed all the democratic processes. And he was a dictator, and he turned it into a dictatorship. And then, the republic never recovered after that. And then, after a couple more decades, then you had Caesar, and then Augustus became the emperor. And then that's what I think is going to happen. I think that when I say that, like, it's the end of the American empire, what I actually mean is this is the end of the American republic and the transition into an empire, because so many people in America really don't understand democratic processes and don't believe that democracy is an actual thing, just like the Russians don't. And so they're going to cheer. So at some point, some savior is going to come. He might be a Republican, he might be Democrat, but he's going to come in just like Putin came in and say, "Hey, I lifted America from its knees." and then we're just going to have an empire for 1,000 years or something, and that's what I'm truly afraid of,
There's been
honestly.
studies done by many historians, and they say that it's actually for empire to fall apart, it's 250 years
Yeah,
historically, and
yeah.
America in 2 weeks is turning 250 years.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Aussie
let's. So go
Aussie
ahead.
says maybe AI will be the next president. I mean, they are installing AI under the White House, so
Yes, they are.
yeah.
It's a data center. But let's talk some more history, because Versailles is not just a venue, beautiful palace, but it's actually a symbol of humiliation and punishment, and winners forcing losers to swallow terms they hate. So I have like a little timeline for you guys here, which is interesting. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919, excuse me, in the Hall of Mirrors. It ended World War One, but became infamous for humiliation, punishment, and resentment. The name Versailles is tied to victory, dictating terms to defeat. That is why any modern US Iran arrangement staged there gets read through a historical lens of surrender and collapse. So Versailles is powerful because the location itself carries the memory of losers being forced to accept the terms of winners. And I truly think that Macron trolled Trump by choosing this shiny, beautiful, golden palace. Of course, Trump is going to come like a king. And, but that's where he surrendered. By the way, I love Versailles. It's secretly one of my King Louis XIV, one of my
Mm.
favorite kings, built it, and yeah. But aside from that, it is truly a humiliation, like what happened with Trump. And here I have the timeline for you when. In 1783, the British Empire signs a treaty of surrender to France and Spain. 1871, France signs a treaty of surrender to German Empire. 1918, uh, sorry, I can't see. I have a pen there, but Empire signs a treaty of surrender. France, Britain, America, and Japan. And in 2026, the United States of America signs a treaty of surrender to the Islamic Republic of Iran. I wonder, does anyone tell any of this to Trump? Probably not. What am I? Who am I kidding? There's no one clever there, because, well, looking at the next story that I wanted to do, and now all of America is talking about this, actually, and it's the algae of the pool, the reflecting pool. Uh, Trump had the pool, the reflecting pool in Washington, painted navy, American navy blue. And I guess no one told. That's why they have no scientists. No one told to the White House that if you paint a dark, algae will grow because it consumes sun and heat. So you're gonna get gross. I mean, he wasted, I think it's 13 million of taxpayer money to do this. Everything that Trump touches turns to shit and
No, see,
disaster.
listen, look, I think everybody's misinterpreting this. No, it's like a meth. Listen, I'm from Northern California. I know exactly this feeling. My God, um, no, I think that people are really misinterpreting this. I think that you're giving Trump uh, too rough of a time about this reflecting pool. Look, he's trying to help the environment. Algae, okay, takes carbon out of the air. Okay, he's actually reversing global warming with this reflecting pool. Don't see
So
it's,
I love
it's
how I'm going to drain the swamp morphed into turning the reflecting pool into an actual swamp.
yeah. You know what would be good in there would be alligators. That would be a nice touch.
But I mean, look at this the mess that they made. It's literally it's like a meth family country bumpkins moved in.
Yeah. I know this all too well, actually. I lived in Albuquerque and I lived in Sacramento. I very familiar with this kind of a scene. So, yeah, but at least we'll have AI as president. I don't know who do you can we do a poll? Who would you elect? ChatGPT, Grok, or
Claude.
Anthropic? Claude,
Claude.
which we're gonna elect. I really think that is ultimately just
Oh, there's
whatever
actually
next.
Claude is well, Anthropic is in the news. Oh, actually, just I wish I had the breakdown for it. I don't, but um, Trump, surprise, surprise, basically Anthropic. They didn't want to be part of well, they didn't want to be under control of this government, and they said no to. Basically, they lost all their government contracts because they said no to Trump administration, and I believe now they kind of making Anthropic come to their knees.
Yeah, that's
But
not anything like a mafia mob
yeah,
boss at all would do anything like
mafia
that.
state, exactly like Russia.
Yeah.
But moving on, um, really quickly, I wanted to ask you about this, James. I
Hmm.
mean, I
Hmm.
think it's pretty awesome. But Ukraine launches a trophy lab, a platform giving allies access to captured Russian military technology. Ukraine is sharing basically Russian state secrets with the world. Whoever, I guess, wants it and all the Russian technology. What do you think about this?
I think that I just found out about it when you said it to me. What? I mean, great. Uh, yeah, I mean, I actually am waiting. I'm very excited about getting some Russian technology in my laboratory very shortly here because we are, I mean, I ain't too proud to copy, you know? Like half the stuff that they have is copy of somebody else or even copy of Ukraine tech. I'm gonna take we do the same thing with their FPVs. I'm take them apart, take off anything that's useful and anything that uh is new or innovative, we might reverse engineer that and use it on our own stuff. So all right, you just educated me. Um I have it up on my screen right now, and it's a pretty cool website. If you can go to trophylab.mod.gov.ua,
Well,
and
James, show it. Share your screen, and then
sure,
after this, do your thing because we have 10 minutes.
my thing. Well, oh, I can't
Your
share. You have to
oh yeah,
set me
yeah,
to
yeah.
share. I think. How do I do that?
Um, hold on. Let me. Okay, there you go.
Aha! Oh, look at that. Ooh, wonders of modern technology. All right, let's see here. Yeah. All right. So, oh, there we go. Yeah. Cool stuff here. Um, I like this. This is a nice effect. It's like an X-ray inside the tank. Ah, that's pretty cool. So I guess I need to go through this whole registration process. Oh, check it out. Oh, I have to register. Sorry, guys, you don't get to watch me register to get in here, but I am going to get in here. This is a whole project and I think it's interesting. I think that Azov is going to as an international battalion, we are uniquely positioned to do this kind of cooperation, military tech cooperation with foreign companies, and so I it's something we've been kind of doing already, but I've been told that it's something we might be doing in a more organized fashion. essentially in a more official fashion with official systems in place, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Um, and like I said, I freaking love Fedorov. He's just making so many just the most amazing changes.
I really like that he kind of made the war for Ukrainian soldiers. I don't want to say more fun, but
Mm.
the point system
Mm-hmm.
basically
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
take like
Well,
a
it's
video
it's
game in a way.
moving towards meritocracy. You know,
Hmm.
so trying to reward good with
Yeah.
good, and as
Yes.
opposed to the older like Soviet system, which is nobody gets, why do good? You're not going to get any reward for it. You might be punished. So that really changes, really trying to change the military culture away from that old Soviet doctrines. And I know that's been going on for a long time, but doing it in a systemic way. And this, basically this kind of in many ways kind of exposes Russia's like soft underbelly. It's basically, hey, keep sending us your stuff. We're just going to keep giving away all your secrets to your potential enemies. What a I hate to use this term. What a trump card. Yeah. It's
No.
wow, thank you for educating me. This is fantastic.
No. I mean, you see it here first.
I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. Absolutely.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. I'm glad
Mm.
that's actually it wasn't my maybe pile, but
Yeah.
of things to bring up. But then
Thank you.
yeah, of course,
Rockin'.
I'm glad that I did.
Yeah.
Um James, do you want to talk about drones and fundraising for
Oh,
about a couple of minutes?
yeah. Oh, thank you for the opportunity, actually. If you would like to help my lab. Now, first of all, we are getting ready to do a major fundraiser for ground drones in my for my battalion, and this is a my lab is directly involved in that, so that is going to be happening here. I was expecting to get the link set up this week, but it didn't happen. So um, of course you can always donate directly to the brigade, sorry, to the battalion on this link right here. It'll take you to that page right here, and you can go to support and help out my battalion. But there's a specific fundraiser that we're going to be doing through Azov One, specifically for ground drones and related technology. The rest of my page is specifically to help my laboratory. Um, so I think maybe I mentioned recently, like we have to have all of our freaking cars repaired. I'm holding a raffle for that. If you'd like to send a message to Vladimir Putin on a drone, you can do so here. And by the way, those of you who have done that, I'm getting ready to put out a whole bunch of videos showing the drones that we have sent with your messages on them. So it's just taken me a while to go through, and I got to.
By the
But
way, if you wanna, Father's Day is coming up. So this is
that's
a
right,
great gift for Father's Day.
absolutely.
I showed the website to a friend of mine, and he was like absolutely amazed by this feature. I messaged you about
Yeah,
this. It's like you should make the like more of a push for the
and so it's
writing
a real
messages to
thing.
Putin.
It's a real thing, and then I put the videos of each one. You give me a second here. I'll put. Sorry, I have to keep that tournament up in the background. uh, I keep put the videos of each one on my YouTube channel, and I have a backlog of these to do. But you'll be able to see, like here, uh, one of the videos. Hopefully, it'll show. Oh, I'm not playing sound on there, but if you go to whyukraine.com, you'll be able to see your drone specifically. Okay, each of these messages. Well, and some of them we put. I think we were able to fit thoughts and prayers on each drone. Now, there is one important change that I have made because people were confused about this. They went because I had a specific link here for your thought and prayers to put on a drone, and you typed in stuff here, and you can see how many people have donated. But some people they didn't know where to type stuff, and it was very confusing for people. So now you just type in whatever your message is going to be, like Slava Ukraine, and you just pay one price. Okay, it's $10 just to put your message on a drone. But I did something even cooler. Okay, if you want to donate to buy a 3D printer filament now, but you'd also like to send a message on a drone, you can do it right here. Boom. Haha, look at that. And in fact, you can do that now on, I think, all of these. I tried to set it up on all of these. Yeah, let's see. Yes. Boom. The whole thing. So, any way you'd like to help, you can send a message to Putin on a drone. And we will send it to the Russians, and hopefully it gets to the right place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, guys, this is such an awesome features, and as I
Yeah.
said, Father's Day is coming up, and what a glorious and amazing gift.
Yeah. And just go to whyukraine.com. It's the letter Y, the word Ukraine, all one word altogether.com, and you can donate there. That's a good one. Putin was a honeypot raven in the KGB. We had to tape that one on better afterwards, but we got the picture done. BME, one of our viewers here, somebody put Tronald dump. Anything you want to put really is fine. It's really okay. And yeah. Yeah, and so a lot of people have done it, and it's really been incredibly helpful. So thank you very much to everybody, and I hope it's fun for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into the explanation of why I'm dressed like a fairy, mystical celebration of Ivan Kupalo,
Mm.
don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment after the show. Which part was your favorite of today's live stream? If you learned anything new, anything, we would love to hear from you and your thoughts. And yeah, it really helps get the news, get James's website out there. It helps Ukraine win and for Russia
Yep.
to go away faster. Every
Дуже
click,
дякую.
everything. Absolutely. All right. Well, why am I dressed like this? You may ask. It's not my uh regular
Attire.
attire. But it's for Ivan Kupala, which is a summer solstice celebration. And
Mhm.
it's something that is the most ancient holiday in Ukraine. And it's the only pagan holiday that survived to this day, Ivan Kupala. This holiday is over 1,000 years old. It comes from pre Christian Slavic paganism. It honors the summer solstice, which is the longest day and the shortest night. It was first written down in 13th century, and the first detailed description was in the Gustin Chronicle, the 17th century. It is one of the most ancient and most mystical holidays in Ukrainian culture. When Ukraine became Christian in 988, the festival was Christianized and linked to John the Baptist. But
Ah.
yes, but the
Okay.
pagan roots stayed. And this is the only pagan holiday they survived continuously in Christian culture. It honors Kupala, which is the sun god, the god of fertility, the
Uh-huh.
god of harvest. It honors fire, water, nature, and plants. It is it is a cult of fertility, it is a cult of the harvest, it is a cult of the sun, it is a fusion of pagan and Christian. Ivan is John the Baptist, and Kupala, pagan god of fertility and harvest. Kupala also comes from Slavic word for bathing. Some theories even connect Kupala to Cupid, the Roman god of love.
Hmm.
Yes, so
Makes
the
sense.
original date is June 23rd to 24th, and that is the summer solstice, the shortest night of the year and the longest day. In 2026, Ukrainians celebrate on the night of June 23rd to June 24th, according to the new calendar of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. This is cultural resistance in stark contrast to air raid sirens, blackouts, Russia's full scale invasion. Ukrainians still gather, still dance. Uh, Women, especially, wear wreaths, and there's a fern, that magical fern you have to look for. And couples, young
Really?
couples, yes, over the night you have to look for this fern, which is the
Mhm.
most magical fern that you can find. And then also the women, the girls, I guess, young girls with their fern wreaths, they on the lake, they not only bathe, they go in and bathe, but they put the wreaths. I mean, there's so many rituals. We talked about Slavic rituals. There's an insane amount of them. But the one that I know of, depending if your wreath floats or it's about like your future husband, basically. If your
Mm.
wreath floats, or if it's obviously if it drowns, it's not a good sign. But if it goes right or left, there's so many different signs. But
Huh.
I'll leave that for another video. But oh, and young couples, they have to.
They
There's a
have to
huge
go. They
bonfire
have
at
to go
night, and
look for the fern.
no, they
Is
don't
that?
look. They have
Oh.
to jump over a huge bonfire,
Oh.
basically.
Nice.
Yeah. But
Nice. Sounds like
yeah.
my first marriage.
If you make it over the fire, then you're good. It's like a
Yeah.
leap of faith kind of thing.
Yeah, I
And
get it.
if you don't, well, yikes.
Yeah, you sign a prenup. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually. No, I mean that is I've seen I have to say it's I myself I am an agnostic pagan.
Mhm.
So I don't it's not that I don't know if there's a god. I don't know how many there might be, you know. So it could be anywhere. So I'm fascinated by it, and I love that syncretism, the preservation of ancient customs and wisdom down through the ages. You know, myself, I have a deep and abiding interest in Asatru, which is Norse paganism, and have studied it for decades. And so but all of that was wiped out. All of that was erased in the Middle Ages. So that whole Norse religion, Viking religion, what have you, it's all been reconstructed from things that were written down hundreds of years after the last pagan, the last Norse pagans. So the fact that these traditions have survived even into the modern days in Ukraine and in Slavic culture, I find really amazing and fascinating and very cool.
I
Yeah,
completely agree. It's a
yeah.
cultural weapon that Ukraine has.
And
And
this is a traditional dress like you're wearing, kind of with the white and the red
no,
and the.
what I'm wearing, the this is traditional. The beads, it's very
Mhm,
traditional. This is kind of rendition. You're supposed to, the women, the girls, you're supposed to wear white.
mhm.
And these wreaths, I just kind of did a rendition for it,
Cool,
so it don't
cool.
look crazy.
I'm into it.
But yeah,
I'm
something
grooving.
something something different for the viewers.
Yeah,
Speaking of the viewers, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that showed up. You really do support. So your support goes a long way with just by showing up. But I want to say thank you to Sir Shum for being a member of the channel for whole 4 months.
Hey.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much to Salt and Exile. It's a good name. um,
It's a recent change, I
formerly
think.
Salt of the Red Earth,
Yes.
for sending SLAVIE gift membership to the channel. What a great way to support. Thank you so much. And thank you to SSW Custom, another moderator here, sending out a SLAVIE gift membership. Thank you for your incredible support. Oh, Starsky was here. I'm just
Yeah,
seeing it
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
wow.
popped in. He said, hey.
Oh man. All right. And thank you so much to They Exist for sending 5 SLAVIE gift memberships. Thank you so much for your support.
I just want to know who they are.
They exist.
Yeah.
I'm guessing aliens?
No. I think Germans. I think he means Germans.
Well, actually left,
They exist.
left a message saying Poland's prez seems to be a troubled dinosaur. Don't even get me started on Nowacki or whatever his name is. He took away Zelensky's white eagle honor. Um, he's a prude, and Poland has some major issues. Yeah, we'll talk about it next time. Because I am not happy with
Yeah,
Poland's.
we'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your support. Thank you to the moderators, Broadcast Cat, sorry, SSW Custom Sewing, and Salt and Exile. Thank you for all your support from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to the audience for showing up and making these live streams possible. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and hype. If you enjoyed today's live stream, I'm SLAVIE. This is James. This is SlavaCast, World at War. Be brave like Ukraine. God bless America. And Slava Ukraini. Bye, guys.
Heroam Slava. Do побачення, everybody.
Do